Hey there, if you're enjoying this podcast, please take a moment to leave a review and to follow or subscribe. Don't forget to share with anybody that you think might be interested. Your support is greatly appreciated. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful, and it's the best way for us to reach more people and grow this wonderful community. Thanks again for listening. Hey there. So when I began my coaching journey, for the longest while, I was reticent to share my new passion openly. Despite the fact that it was bringing me so much joy and had been deepening and developing so steadily in me, my growing commitment made me feel unfaithful to my first love, the performing arts. What are you doing? Are you retiring? Is this some kind of new hobby? Isn't everybody a life coach these days? What makes you think you'd be any good at this? You haven't suffered or overcome any adversity. What do you have to share? These were not the words of my concerned friends or family. The messages that swirled in my head were created by me, courtesy of my gremlin. And they shaped my energetic choices, pushing me toward fear-based decisions rather than choices aligned with my values. I limited myself by operating from the perspective that I can't do both, or that I have to choose, or that if I did do both, that I should keep them separate. And so, I siloed my two loves, divorcing any possibility of connection by believing that they needed to be mutually exclusive. It was almost as if I was leading a double life. It took a global pandemic to help me realize that I could serve my creative community, and in a much different way. It was time for me to stop limiting myself and to step up and engage at my fullest capacity. And so began the harmonious marriage of my two passions and the expansion of my access to higher energetic choices. Our gremlin always screams louder the closer we get to our edge. Worried that we might not heed its warning, it turns up the volume on doubt and fear. Change signals uncertainty, and we are hardwired to protect ourselves from things that we can't control or predict, things without definitive outcomes. The irony is that we only grow when we experience something new. And it is growth that allows us to live into our purpose. And yes, it's easier to play it safe, to stick with what we know. And that's why so often we cling to the more familiar predictability of default living. It's no wonder we so often feel stuck. And so, as I sit here in real time working on book number 2, I'm not going to lie, I can hear the voice of my gremlin warming up again, with all the reasons why this time it's going to be scary. What makes you think you can write another? Do you really have anything more to say? Do you really want to dedicate all that time? Although experience is a marker for growth, what I've noticed is we also pick up some not so helpful limiting beliefs about how things should be done. I was unencumbered by a previous track record when I wrote my first book because I had never done it before. There was no shoulding behind it either. I didn't write it for strategic reasons, as part of some great business plan because they say it's good for coaches to write a book, or because it would give me status or make me more legit. I chose to write because I truly wanted to do it. And I loved every minute of it. So my response to my gremlin is a resounding hell yes, I want to do this. And looking at the snow falling out of the window and my cat nestled in his chair next to me, I am reminded of why. It's a feeling I'm after, and it's the same no matter what I'm working on, regardless of what's gone before. No one needs me to write this book. Nobody is expecting me to do it. I don't have an agent or a publisher waiting for my next draft. Nothing is riding on this. I want to do it. Why? Because it feels right. Because it feels aligned. Because I get to. It's choice with gratitude. And it's a beautiful place to be. I'm Lisa Hopkins. Thanks so much for listening. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. And remember to live in the moment. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to dive deeper into cultivating a life of creative possibilities with my new book, The Places Where There Are Spaces. It's filled with personal stories and insights to help you embrace living in the moment. You can grab your copy by following the link in the show notes or wherever books are sold. Let's keep the conversation going and growing.